All right, we're back with week 8, and this one is going to be called Too Good to Be True. And so, something that my dad instilled into me from a very young age is if something is too good to be true, then it usually is. When I was younger, I always kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit and ended up having a snow shoveling business and a lawn cutting business. I was always looking to kind of do better and upgrade and be kind of more efficient and make more money. And so one summer, another guy on the street named was Gerald, and him and I decided to team up and see if we couldn't go, knock on doors and convince people to do lawn cutting for the summer. Not just like one day at a time, but like, potentially bring them in for the whole summer or just one day or whatever. And so we had been going around knocking on doors, having talks with people, and we ended up booking a few people to cut their lawn. And then we ended up at this one guy's house, and he showed up to the door with a whiskey. I think it was just straight whiskey. It was like whiskey on ice or something or whatever. He was drinking. This was like, I don't know. I'm guessing it was after work hours, and so he just, the typical drunk kind of like leans in and is just like, hey, you boys looking to make some money? It's like, yeah, come here, let's have a talk. And, in hindsight, super creepy to be walking into a stranger's house, to go into his backyard to have a chat with him about lawn cutting, especially when he's drunk. But yeah, we were too excited for the money, and so we ended up going with this stranger into his backyard to have a talk about cutting his lawn. And so he took us for like a walk around his yard and kind of explained, like, I don't fuck around. This is serious business here. Like, I want you guys to cut my lawn, but you better be here every week. He's like, I'll give you each $100 up front to cut my lawn every week for the whole summer. And but you better not screw around. You better not do a bad job, and you better be here every week. I don't want any excuses. And just the thought of each of us walking away with $100 that day was pretty cool. And so we were just like, man, this is awesome. Not seeing all the red flags of this half-drunk guy basically threatening us that if we didn't cut his lawn properly or we missed a week, there'd be problems. And so yeah, it was like I said, we were super excited about it, but smart enough to be like, yeah, we'll get back to you on it. It sounds awesome. We're excited. And then sure enough, when we got back home, our parents were just like, no, dude, stay away from that guy. Don't ever go back to that guy's house again. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. It's not worth it. What if, you guys got baseball? What if we're up at the cottage that weekend and you can't make it? What are you going to do? And kind of running the scenario of like, man, what if you miss a week? What's going to happen? Is this guy going to freak out? Is he going to want his money back? It's just, plus he was half drunk. Was he even serious? And so that was one of those funny, if it seems to be too good to be true, it usually is. I had a second experience like that in university. I know I've told this story before, but I don't think I've done it yet with this little weekly story update. And it was when I was in first year university. I ended up meeting some dude through some girl that we knew, and he came and was just like splashing money around like some big shot. Took us all out to dinner and took us all out to the bar and was just talking about how he makes all this money, and he paid for everyone's dinner and paid for everyone's drinks and spent like well over $1,500 on everybody's food and drinks and everything all night. And then at the end of the night was just kind of like, oh, I went a little overboard tonight. But I'm in town doing business, and I spent some of my business money that I was supposed to keep for this deal that I'm doing in town. And if anybody can lend me, some money, then I can do this deal and we'll be square, and I'll set you up tomorrow with double what you give me. And once again, me being super excited and kind of getting blinded by having dollar signs in my eyes, I totally did not heed the if it's too good to be true, it usually is a warning. And so sure enough, I walked down with this guy to the ATM and pulled out, I don't even remember how much now. I feel like it was close to $1,000. It was whatever my daily limit that I was able to take out, but it was basically like almost all the spending money I had for the rest of my university semester. And I remember saying to the guy, like, dude, if you screw me here, like, I have no more money. Like, I'm giving you everything I got for you to get through the night and do your thing and whatever, and then I'll see you tomorrow. So, like, you know, let me know when to meet you, and I'll meet you tomorrow, and we'll square up. And sure enough, morning rolls around, he's gone, did not show up. I message my friend who knew the guy, and she was like, oh, well, like, I kind of knew him. Like, we worked together in Toronto. Like, I don't really know him. We were co-workers in Toronto, and he was in Thunder Bay for the night, and so we met up. I was just like, oh, fuck. Great. And so sure enough, I called the hotel he's staying at. They've never heard of him. I'm trying to, like, call everybody I can think of, and nobody's heard of this guy, and he's gone. And sure enough, there go those words again. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. It's just like, damn it, I did not, got a little too excited and did not think straight. And however, that sent me on a new kind of life course of, I had to figure out what to do. I was either going to call my parents and tell them I fucked up and I needed help, or I was going to try and solve the problem myself and make it to the end of the semester without having to ask for any help. Like, I was out of money, so, like, I guess technically, like, I would have been fine. I just had no money to go party or buy any extra food or anything. I was on a meal plan, so it really didn't matter. But you know, I wanted my freedom to have money. I've always worked, I've always done stuff to make money, and so it was, not having any money was kind of not really an option in my head. And so the girl I was dating at the time was still in Southern Ontario, and she worked out of Montana's, and so she ended up talking to her manager, and he called the Montana's up here in Thunder Bay and got me an interview. And I started in the dish pit at Montana's, and that started a lifelong of working in kitchens, and I absolutely loved it. And so if I hadn't have done that bonehead move, I wouldn't have ended up working in a kitchen. And I basically went from dishwasher at Montana's to fry cook to working on saute pans, which was a blast, and then all the way up to grill and appetizers and everything. And then went from Montana's to Moxie's, and then from Moxie's ended up getting a job at the golf course where I met my wife. And none of that stuff would have happened if I hadn't have done that stupid move. So sometimes you do dumb stuff and it ends up working out, and you just never know where life's going to take you. So yeah, if it seems too good to be true, it usually is, but it's all part of the story.